Okay, we went over the importance of the clutch in a two-stroke, especially small bores, 125, 150s. I spent most of my career on small bore two-strokes. I started with with I had a 87 KX 80 with a 100 kit, 1990 KX 80, and then the big bikes, 92 KX 125, 94 CR 125, 95 CR 125. Then I had two 97 YZ 125s and all this. So that's six small bores. And the reason why it's so important, like nowadays the four strokes, you can be lazy. Like you can pretty much, like 450, you can just roll on the power. You don't have to use the clutch. You can just roll on the power and it'll be there. Got a lot of torque. But the 125 has got and two strokes got a narrow power band, so you use the clutch to keep it in the power band. So if you just like use the throttle, it'll like start lugging. So you use the clutch to bring the RPMs up, and you fan it. Depends on the situation. In the corners, you kind of just fan it, and give it throttle, fan it, just to keep it going. If not, if you just come in without the clutch, it's just it's gonna kind of bog, not gonna pull hard. So you gotta keep it on the, they call it on the pipe. Times you use the clutch is, this is even with the four strokes, but you power shift all the time. You just keep the throttle on wide open, and you just use the clutch to shift. So it's just a hair, split second before you hit the shifter, you want to just tap the clutch. So it's kind of like that. It kind of just gets muscle memory, and you just keep the throttle pinned, and it'll shift. And that's just to keep your momentum going. Like the small bikes, you gotta keep your momentum up. Doesn't have the torque like the 450s and the four strokes to pull you out of a situation. You just gotta keep the RPMs up and your momentum up. If not, you could screw up a whole section if you come out of a turn with not enough speed. Just doesn't have the torque to pull you through like a 450 or a four stroke. Other times I use the clutches. Sometimes like I used to do this in the whoop sections or jumps coming right out of the corner. You clutch it on the face of the jump. So you come and you clutch it and you give it throttle, and it'll give you more lift. If not, it'll you come out, it'll bog, and you might nose dive, or you're just not gonna clear the jump. So I call it clutching on the face of the jump. So you just give it a and then it'll bring the bike back into the power band and get you over the jump. Other times using the clutch is, this is for all bikes, but when you gotta bring the front end down, so you just pull in the clutch and tap the rear brake. That'll bring the front end down. You gotta remember to pull in the clutch. It's like I do it so much that even after not riding for 10 years, yesterday is just muscle memory. Just pull in the clutch, tap the rear brake, bring the front end down. And yeah, so the clutch is a vital tool in a two-stroke. If you didn't have the clutch, you'd be a lot slower, and it'll be more dangerous to ride, because you coming up to the jumps, it'll be bogging, and you might nose dive, or you're just not gonna have that drive. So and also on the starts, this bike I tried first gear, but I think I think this bike could pull second on the start. It's kind of over revving, so. And then on the starts too, like around the track, I use one finger on the clutch at all times. In case you need it, it's there. But on the start, because I need the modulation, I use two fingers because you're gonna slip it more off the line. But on the track, you kind of just feathering it, or you're just giving it a little blip. So that's what I do. I mean, pretty much grew up riding two strokes, and this bike, it has more torque than a 125, but you still gotta use the clutch a lot. So yep, you gotta use the clutch with a two-stroke, real important.